Here we go.
Yeah.
55, let me just scroll down. Okay, first question. Is it true that birds are the only animals in the world that have feathers? Is it true that birds are the only animals in the world that have feathers? Yes, it's
Yes, it's
true that
true
birds
that
are the
birds
only
are
animals
only
in the
animals in
world
the
that
world
have
that
feathers.
have feathers.
Very good. What did happen if I kept rubbing my sleeves on the edge of the table like this? What did happen if I kept rubbing my sleeves on the edge of the table like this? If you kept rubbing
If
your
you kept
sleeves,
rubbing with
you'd
your
wear a
sleeves,
hole
you'd wear a
in your
hole
sleeves.
in your sleeve.
Very good. What do we do with clothes that are worn out? What do we do with clothes that are worn out? We mend
We
or throw
mend
away
or throw
clothes
away
that are
clothes
worn
that
out.
are worn out.
If I told you I was feeling worn out, what would I mean? If I told you I was feeling worn out, what would I mean? If you told
If
me
you told
you were
me
feeling
you
worn
were
out,
feeling worn
you'd
out,
mean you
you
were
mean
exhausted.
you were exhausted.
Very good. Which do you think is more important for finding a new job, experience or qualifications? Which do you think is more important for finding a new job, experience or qualifications? I think
I think
is
qualifications
more
are more
important
important
than
for
than
than
experience for
experience
finding a new
for
job.
finding a new job.
Very good. What does it mean to be in debt? What does it mean to be in debt? To be in debt
To be
means
in debt
that we
means
owe somebody
that we
something,
owe somebody
usually
something,
money.
usually money.
If you don't manage your credit card account properly, is it easy to get into debt? If you don't manage your credit card account properly, is it easy to get into debt? Yes. If you don't
Yes,
manage, if
if
you
I
do,
don't
if you
manage,
generally, yes, if you
okay.
don't
If
manage
you yes, if you don't
your
manage
credit
your
card account
credit card
properly,
account properly,
it's easy to
it's
get
easy
into
to
debt.
get into debt.
Very good. What do we say when we interrupt someone who's speaking? What do we say when we interrupt someone who's speaking? When we
When
interrupt
we
someone
interrupt
who's speaking,
someone who's
we say,
speaking, we
"Excuse me."
say, "Excuse me."
What do they say on television when there's an interruption? What do they say on television when there's an interruption? When there's an interruption
When there's an
on
interruption on
television,
television,
they say,
they
"We
say, "We
apologize for
apologize
the
for the
interruption."
interruption."
Very good. What can we say instead of "I wish" when we want to be emphatic? What could we say when instead of "I wish" if we want to be emphatic? We can say
We can
"if
say,
only"
"If only,"
instead of "I
instead of
wish"
"I
when we
wish,"
want to be
when we
emphatic.
want to emphatic.
To be emphatic.
When we want to be emphatic.
Very good. Give me an example. Give me an example, please. I hate this
I
job.
hate this
If
job.
only
If
I
only
hadn't
I
accepted it.
hadn't accepted it.
Very good. Do you believe all humans are capable of acts of great kindness? Do you believe all humans are capable of acts of great kindness? Yes or no?
Yes,
I
I
believe
believe
all
all
humans are
humans
capable
are
of
capable
acts
of
of
acts
great
of
kindness.
great
What's the
kindness.
best way to judge a person? By what he says or how he acts? What's the best way to judge a person? By what he says or how he acts? The best
The
way to
best
judge
way
a
to
person
judge a
is
person
by,
is by how he acts.
very good. Which is heavier, a bar of gold or a bar of iron? Which is heavier, a bar of gold or a bar of iron? A bar of
A
gold
bar
is
of gold
heavier
is
than a
heavier
bar of
than a bar
iron.
of iron.
Very good. Would it be healthy to eat a whole bar of chocolate every day? Would it be healthy to eat a whole bar of chocolate every day? No, it
No,
wouldn't
it
be
wouldn't
healthy
be
to
healthy
eat a whole bar
to eat a whole bar
of
of
chocolate
chocolate
every day.
every day.
Is it fairly common to find bars on the ground floor windows of houses in your country? Is it fairly common to find bars on the ground floor windows of the houses in your country? Yes or no?
Yes,
It's
it's
fairly common
very
to
common
find
to
bars
find
on the
birds
ground floor windows
on the ground floor windows
of
of
houses in
houses
my country.
in this country, in my country.
Very good. What do we mean if we say that the police have barred a road? What do we mean if we say that the police have barred a road? If we say
If we
that the
say that
police
if
have
the
barred a
police
road,
have barred a
we mean
road,
they have put
we
something
mean
across
they
the
have put
road
something
to
up the
prevent
road
cars
to
from
prevent
going
cars
along it.
from going along it.
Why do clubs and pubs sometimes bar particular people from entering? Why do clubs and pubs sometimes bar particular people from entering? Clubs and pubs
Crabs and
sometimes
paths
bar
sometimes bar
particular people
particular
from
people from
entering because they
entering
have
because
behaved
they
very
have
badly
behaved
on
very
a
badly
previous
on a
occasion.
previous occasion.
Very good. What does the expression "to put the cart before the horse" mean? What does the expression to put the cart before the horse mean? The
The
expression to put the
expression
cart
put the
before
cart
the horse
before the
mean
horse
to do
means
things in the
do
wrong
things
order.
in the wrong order.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. Learning to read and write a
Learning to
language. Learning
learning
to
to read
read and
and
write a
write
language
a language
before learning to
before
speak
learning
and
to speak
understand
and
it
understand
is
it
like
is
putting the
like
cart
putting
before
the
the
cart
horse,
before the
as a
horse.
language
As a
should be
language
listened
should
to first,
be listened to
then
first,
spoken,
then
then read,
spoken,
and then
then
finally
read,
written.
and then finally written.
Very good. If an art dealer sold you a painting and then you realize that you've been deceived about the value of the painting, would you go back to the dealer and complain? If an art dealer sold you a painting and then you realize that you've been deceived about the value of the painting, would you go back to the dealer and complain? Yes or no? If
Yes,
an
if
art dealer
an art
sold me a
dealer
painting
sold me
and
a
then I
painting and
realize
then I
I'd been
realized
deceived
that
about the
I've been
value
deceived
of
about the
the
value
painting,
of the
I'd go
painting,
back to the
I
dealer
will go
and
back to the
complain.
dealer and complain.
Very good. Would you get complaints from your neighbors if you turn up your TV very loud? Would you get complaints from your neighbors if you turn up your TV very loud? Yes or no? I
Yes,
get
I'd get
complaints from my
complaints from
neighbors
my
if I turn
neighbors
up my
if I
TV
turned
very loud.
if I turned up
My TV
TVs
very
very
loud.
loud.
Very good. One more. Yes, I get
Yes,
complaints
I'd
from
get
my
the complaints
neighbors
from
if
my
I turn
neighbors
up my
if I turned
TV
up my
very loud.
TV very loud.
Have you ever made an official complaint? Have you ever made an official complaint? Yes or no?
Yes,
I've made
I
an official
made an
complaint.
official complaint.
To who and what about? To who and what about? To?
Yeah, to shop assistant
Uh-huh. About?
because the swimming wear I bought was very dirty.
Oh, very good. So they exchange it. Okay. Next.
Yes.
Are there students sitting on either side of you? Are there students sitting on either side of you? Yes or no?
No,
There
there
aren't
aren't students
sitting on either
sitting
side of
on the
me.
either side of me.
Very good. What's the difference between the words what and which? What's the difference between the words what and which? The difference
The
between
difference
the words
between
what and
the
which
words what and
is
which
that we
is that
generally use
we
which
generally use
when we
which
are
when we are
considering a
considering
limited
a
number
limited
of
number of
alternatives,
alternatives,
whereas we use what
whereas we
in
use
a more
what
unlimited
in a
sense.
more unlimited
Give me an
sense.
example of each. Give me an example of each, please. What's your address?
What?
What's
Hmm?
your address?
What's your address?
Which
Which
address should I
address
send the
should
letter
I
to?
send the
Your
letter
home
to?
address
Your home
or
address
your work
or
address?
your work address?
Very good. What do people do when a faint smell of burning reaches their noses? What do people do when a faint smell of burning reaches their noses? When a faint smell of burning reaches
When a faint smell of burning
reaches people's
reaches
noses,
people's
they
noses,
try to find out
they try to
where
find
it's
out
coming from.
where it's coming
Wait,
from.
what? Why do people faint? Why do people faint? People faint
People
because
faint
of
because
excessive
of
heat,
excessive heat,
excitement, fear,
excitement,
pain,
fear,
etc.
pain, etc.
Very good. Give me an example of the words happen to. Give me an example of the words happen to, please. I happen to know
I happen to
several
know
people
several
who work for
people
that
who
company.
work for that company.
When you happen to see someone you know on the street, but it's someone that you don't particularly want to speak to, what do you do? When you happen to see someone you know on the street, but it's someone that you don't particularly want to speak to, what do you do? When I happen
When
to
I
see
happen to
someone
see
I know
someone
on the street,
I know on the
but it's
street,
someone
but
that I
it's
don't
someone that I
particularly
don't
want to speak
particularly
to,
want to speak to,
I
I avoid to meet them.
very good. Does your front door open outwards or inwards? Does your front door open outwards or inwards? My front
My
door
front
opens
door opens outwards.
outwards. Very good. What am I doing? What am I doing? You're leaning on the
You are
wall.
leaning on the tape on the wall.
Very good. Why does the Leaning Tower of Pisa lean? Why does the Leaning Tower of Pisa lean? The Leaning Tower of
The
Pisa
leaning tower of
leans
Pisa
because
leans
the ground
because
beneath
the
one
ground
side
beneath
has
one
given
side
way.
has given way.
Very good. What do we mean by mankind? What do we mean by mankind? By mankind,
By
we mean all the
mankind,
people
we
in the
mean all the
world
people
in
in the world
general.
in general.
Right? What's an informal word we can use instead of friend? What's an informal word we can use instead of friend? An informal word
An
we
informal
can
word
use
we
instead of
can use
friend
instead of
is
friend
mate.
is mate.
Very good. Okay. What would you do if you were looking at a tiger in a zoo and suddenly noticed that its cage was slightly open? Huh. What would you do if you're looking at a tiger in a zoo and suddenly noticed that its cage was slightly open? If I was
If
looking
I
at
was
a
looking
tiger
at
in a
a
zoo
tiger in
and
a zoo
suddenly noticed
and
that
suddenly
its
noticed
cage was
that its
slightly
cage
open,
was slightly
I'd
opened, I'd inform
zookeeper.
zookeeper.
Very good. Okay. Which are more closely related to humans, apes or monkeys? Which are more closely related to humans, apes or monkeys? Apes are more
Apes
closely
are more
related
closely
to
related to
humans than
humans
monkeys.
than
Very
monkeys.
good. What does the idiom snap decision mean? What does the idiom snap decision mean? The idiom
The
snap
idiom
decision
snap
means a
decision
quick
means
decision,
a quick
fast
decision,
like the snap
fast like the
of
snap
one's fingers.
of one's
Very
fingers.
good. Give me an example. Give me an example, please. Although it was a snap
Although
decision,
it was a snap
it
decision,
was the right one.
it was the right one.
Very good. Okay, next. Can you give me some further example of the word so? Can you give me some further examples of the word so? Some further
Some
examples
other
of the
examples
word so
of the word
are
flow
he
are
said the train had left.
he,
He said
he said the
the train
train
had left,
has left,
but it was not so.
but it was not so.
So you've got a new job.
So you got a
I
new job,
hear.
I hear.
It so happens
It so
I have just
happens
the thing
I have just the
you are
same
looking for.
you are looking
I
for.
told you so.
I told you
We
so.
spent too long in the restaurant,
You spend too long in a
and
restaurant,
now we've missed
and
the
now
last bus
we've
home.
missed the last bus home.
Very good. Okay, so that's the end of our revision. Let's have
Okay?
new work. Very good. Okay, let's have the first word. Okay, repeat. Melt.
Melt.
Very good. Okay, listen. Melt is a verb. It means to change something from a solid to liquid by heating or to dissolve a solid in a liquid. For example, when we get ice from the fridge, it melts because of the heat. We get
Mhm.
water when ice melts. Let's practice.
Mhm.
What do we get when ice melts? What do we get when ice melts? We get water
We
when
get
ice
water
melts.
when ice milk.
Very good. Next, repeat. Have something to do with.
Have something to do it.
Where
Hmm?
to do with.
Have something to do with.
Very good. Okay, listen. The structure have something to do with means to be connected with someone or something. For example, if I interfered in a private matter that had nothing to do with me, somebody might say to me, mind your own business. Okay, let's practice. Has my job got anything to do with art? Has my job got anything to do with art? No. Your
Mhm.
job
No,
has
your
got
job
nothing to do
has
with
got
art.
nothing to do with art.
Very good. If you interfered in a private matter that had nothing to do with you, what might somebody say to you? If you interfered in a private matter that had nothing to do with you, what might somebody say to you? If I interfered
If I
in a
interfere
private matter
in a private
that
matter
had nothing to do
that
with
has
me,
nothing to do with
somebody
me,
might say to me,
somebody might say to
mind
me,
your own business.
mind your own business.
Very good. Let's repeat. Pick at.
Pick up,
With AT. Pick at.
pick out.
Very good. Pick at, pick out. Okay, listen.
Pick up, pick out. Okay.
So, pick at is a phrasal verb. To pick at means to eat small amounts of food. For example, people sometimes pick at their food because they aren't very hungry or they don't like the food very much. Pick out is a phrasal verb. It means to choose or select someone or something from a group. For example, when I go to a clothes shop, I always pick out the best. I
Mhm.
find it hard to pick out the right clothes to wear when I'm going to a party. Oh, that's a woman's problem. Okay, let's practice. Why do people sometimes pick at their food? Why do people sometimes pick at their food? People sometimes
People
pick at their
sometimes
food
pick at their
because they
food
aren't very hungry
because they are very
or
hungry
they don't like
or they
the
don't
food
like
very much.
the food very
Right. Do
much.
you find it hard to pick out the right clothes to wear when you're going to a party? Do you find it hard to pick out the right clothes to wear when you're going to a party? Yes or no? I
Yes,
find it hard.
I find I
I find it
find
hard.
ah okay, no.
No,
No,
no, I don't find it hard
I don't find it
to
hard
pick out the right
to pick
clothes
out the right
to
clothes
wear when I'm going
for
to a party.
wear
When I'm
to wear
going
when I'm going
to a party.
to a party.
Very good. It's a woman's problem, right? Okay, very good.
Yes.
Next, repeat. Regard.
Regard,
Regards.
regards,
Greet.
greet,
Greetings.
greetings,
Bye bye.
bye bye,
See ya.
see you.
Very good. Okay, listen. Regard means to consider or have an opinion about something or someone. For example, in my country, we consider pollution as a serious problem. Or we can say, in my country, we regard pollution as a serious problem. Greeting is a noun. It is something that is said or done to show people that you are happy to meet or see them. For example, greetings like hello, hi, saying how are you, or waving your hands to them. Regards with an S. Regards is a noun. It means good wishes or friendly greetings. For example, when we want to send our greetings to somebody through a third person, we say, give my regards to John when you see him. Greet is a verb. It means to welcome someone. For example, we say hello or good morning when we greet someone. Bye bye and see you are informal. They are the same as goodbye. For example, we say goodbye, bye bye, see ya, or just cheers when we leave someone. Let's practice. Do you think most people in your country regard pollution as a serious problem? Do you think most people in your country regard pollution as a serious problem? Yes or no?
どうやろな。
Uh,
No,
no, I don't think. Most
I don't
people in
think
my
most
country
people in my
regard
country
pollution
regard
as a
pollution
serious problem.
as a serious
Yeah,
problem.
because your country is very clean. Very good. Next. When we want to send our greeting to somebody through a third person, what do we say? When we want to send our greetings to somebody through a third person, what do we say? When we want to send
When we want to
our
send
greetings to
our
somebody
greetings to
through a
somebody,
third person,
through
through a
and
third person,
through and third person,
we say, give my
we
regards to.
say give my regard to.
Very good. What do we say when we greet someone in the street? What do we say when we greet someone in the street? When we greet someone
When
in
we
the street,
someone in the
we say
street,
hello,
we say
good
hello,
evening, etc.
good evening, etc.
And what do we say when we leave someone? And what do we say when we leave someone? When we leave someone,
When we leave
we say
someone,
goodbye,
we say
bye
goodbye,
bye, see
see,
ya,
bye bye, see
cheers,
you,
etc.
cheers, etc.
Very good. Okay, so now let's move on to reading.
Okay.
Very good. Okay, so our reading is at stage 8, paragraph page 685. Last headword was present and present. Okay, please start at page 686, second question. Were all the pupils
Um,
present?
all the people question.
686.
Okay. Why or why not?